Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Welcome to our conversation where you get to overhear the best of the best.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I am drinking. Well, I'm drinking out of this really cool iridescent champagne glass, stemless. I feel like I like the stems, but still. And I'm actually drinking spicy pineapple soda. You know, like it's from the Great Gentleman, but it is like that Jamaican ginger beer brand, same. And so it's spicy. It's got the ginger, like the real ginger spicy kind of pepperiness to it.
Oh.
And that's just in my fancy glass. And
Does it taste like beer?
No, it tastes like, well, you know, Moscow Mule.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you don't like Moscow Mules? Exactly like that, but a little bit
Okay.
pineapple-y, like that really, really ginger, spicy ginger
Okay.
ale with
Okay.
pineapple juice splashed in it. That's what it tastes like.
Okay.
I like it. What are you having
I'm
today?
having some scatterbrained dark cherry vanilla whiskey with a nice big ice cube.
I like it. In your fancy mug.
And it's so good. It's like a cherry Coke.
Nice. You don't have anything on the go tonight. You don't have any.
Finally.
You are like the social butterfly.
No.
And I am like, can I just hang out on the couch?
Oh, no. I will tell you, last week was so busy that Friday night when I got home, I looked at Paul and I was like, I think I'm done for the week. I mean, we had some friends over on Sunday in the afternoon for dinner.
Right.
And that was it. I put on zero makeup. I showered for them. I washed my hair, dried my hair. So I was clean. But I was like, this is all I got today. And they don't care.
I feel like having someone over would be like a yearly event in my house. That's what it feels like.
Oh, yeah. We typically on Sundays, that's our day.
Nice.
To cook and hang out on the patio. Really, the guys are out on the patio. We're in the house. But we'll go out there from time to time, or we'll play pool or darts, and then
So you had a relaxing weekend.
yes.
Then what happened with your week?
Because then it picked right back up Monday where it left off Friday.
Oh.
And it's just been, work events, meetings for the foundation. I mean, it's all fun.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself, you asked for this.
And you get to.
I don't have to do any of it.
Exactly. Like we get to. I wrote a post this week. I just kind of, I don't know. I'm just, like whatever comes to mind, I just throw it up there and let it go and see what happens. And I'm doing this what if series. Because when I notice is that people hold themselves back because it's always like, what if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I fuck this up? What if I waste money? What if I blah, 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 right? And I talked about it in terms of my black wall in my entrance. Like, what if this doesn't look good? What if it looks
paint it over?
What if I have to paint it? What if how many coats of cream am I going to have to put over black? Like, what if this is the dumbest thing I've ever done? What if Pam hates it? Like, I mean, it just, and then I went, but what if it is the best wall since walls were discovered?
Yeah.
Like since the caveman days, and cavewoman days and cave person days.
Yes.
Since that happened, maybe this is the best wall ever. And guess what it is?
The best wall ever.
The best wall ever. In the history of walls, I'm pretty sure Guinness is going to come knocking.
And say, hey, we've got to get a picture.
We've got to get a picture of this for our new world record book because it is unbelievable.
But the question is, how do you feel when you look at it?
Oh, I know.
Or think about it.
I'm in love with the dang wall.
Yeah.
Look, I can't stop staring at it. I sit in a different area of my living room so that I can see my wall. I started doing this quote series And the only thing that is the background is my wall. Different angles of my wall, different filters. Yeah. So it's like different colors. Sometimes it's got like more of a green hue, and sometimes it's got like, I change it up, change the angles, change that. I am in love with the dang wall. Anyway.
And it's in your journey area.
It's in my journey area. So a black wall is going to feel, and it's going to feel perfect. Because it's just like energetically, that's where black is meant to go. So I knew it was going to feel good. But wow, opportunities are going to just,
well they already are.
They're already flying at me. At all of us. So it's so amazing. But I did this what if series, and it was like, but what if it all worked out? What if you just did what you loved and that became the thing that like made you less anxious, made you less angry, made you less stressed? Like, what if you just did more of the thing that you love? What if you just added it on? Because when we do the things that we love, we get energized. Even though we're adding on something. It's like, because let's face it, if you hated your job, would you want to go to a job from 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 at night and then start again with another job from 5:30 to 8:30 at night? No, you wouldn't. No. But because you like where you're going, it's like, let's go. It's fun.
Yeah. And it's interesting because even when I'm tired and I'm like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
And then I get to the next event or thing or meeting
or podcast recording. Yes.
My energy just.
Yes. I have had migraine headaches come do a podcast, feel like a queen. Like I am just firing on all cylinders, and the things that I'm saying are get off the call. Whoa, bad headache.
So should have stayed on the call longer.
Yeah. It's just so fun. Anyway, okay. Tell me what lessons you have for me this week. What did you learn this week? What did you notice this week? What was your awareness this week? Because awareness is everything.
Everything. It was so interesting because I cannot tell you how many people I worked with this week that are arguing for their limitations. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of this. Completely out of their control. They have no control. I asked one woman, I said, what do you have control over? And it was interesting. She's not a patient of mine. She came to the support group that I lead. And so I don't really know her.
Okay.
But she starts talking and can't lose weight because of the stress. And I'm going to be stressed because of this and this. And I don't have control over this. And I've adopted these 4 kids. And then to top it all off, I'm doing work for God here on earth. So the enemy's after me and the devil's coming for me every day. And I'm just listening going, oh my God. Oh my God.
Wanting to put earmuffs on everyone else that's listening to this garbage. Yes.
And it was interesting because I was really trying to have to put myself in her shoes and go, okay, if I believed that were true, like if that was a program in me that had just been taught and taught and taught, and I accepted that as truth, holy hell, what a scary place to live.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I can't say that because that's not going to help her inch over this way.
Yeah.
So I started talking to her about how powerful God is. And think about your relationship with God and how you go to God for everything. And you think some little devil is going to be able to pierce through that?
Yeah.
And why are you not focused on the strength of God and sitting in that and giving thanks for that, going, I don't have to worry about this devil because God's going to take care of that. I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to talk to her like that And she would start to come in and go, well, yeah. And then she's like, but because I'm working for God, that he's coming after me and I got to figure this out. And it broke my heart because I can see where she's at.
Yeah.
I can see why she believes that, and she believes it to the core of her being, but it's not serving her.
Yeah.
And the truth is that her belief that God is more powerful than anything would be able to eliminate that belief in this scary devil.
Yeah.
So that was an interest. And I have very different beliefs about that. And for me to be able to put myself in her shoes and talk to her with no judgment.
It feels amazing, doesn't it?
Yes, because if we were on the street talking, I might not have thought, you're going to push her away. Not today, I would, but let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I might have tried to talk her out of that thought process.
Yeah.
Instead of just try to expand the way she thinks of God.
Yeah.
And that's what hit me was, oh, look at you. Look at how nice it is when you're not all judgy.
Yeah.
Or trying to change someone's mind.
Yeah.
You know, because if that serves her, do it. But we argue for our limitations every day.
We do. It's interesting because I have noticed the same pattern, and maybe it's just you and I are noticing it more lately. But I have noticed the same thing where I will say something, a new concept, a new realization, new something that I think is just absolutely brilliant. And I will say it to someone expecting that they're just going to love it too, right? Like, how can you not?
Yeah.
And then they come back with, oh no, wait, but no, and I can feel that they're like leaning back and pushing against me almost energetically, right? And it's interesting to me because I can feel myself wanting to argue it, and yet I allow them to stay. So it's like my default is to argue so that I'm right. But my mind is going, we get to have differences of opinions, and that's okay. I get to choose what I choose. They get to choose what they choose. They're not coming to me for coaching. So why do I need them to expand? They're not asking for expansion.
Right.
And so, and even if it was just like, here's something, you can take it or leave it. Like, that's really the powerful thing, right? It's like, here's a new concept. I love it. Take it or leave it. And I'm going to be okay either way.
Right.
Sometimes it becomes this need for our ego to argue it so that we don't feel like we're wrong or we're judged, right?
Well, yeah. And people tend to want other people to believe what they believe.
Yes, very much.
This is the only way to believe. And you need to come over here with me so you can be right. And I'll feel much better if you come over here with me. So forget what your inner guidance is telling you.
Yeah.
Mine overrides yours.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So interesting, because one of the things that I was talking about this week was the 1 second pivot. Have you heard Abraham talk about the 1 second pivot?
No, I have not. Which surprises the hell out of me.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm all in on Abraham, right? Like before it was like you were listening every single day, 15
I still listen every single day. And I don't even know about the 1 second pivot.
I'm telling you, I am Abraham now, almost. Like, it's like, I know so much. So I was listening to this. Well, and I listen to 3, 4 a day sometimes. If I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm turning it on. And then I fall asleep. So I only get like part of it sometimes. But so the 1 second pivot is this. It only takes 1 second to go from what you don't want to what you do want, or what you do want to what you don't want. It just takes 1 second. But it takes 1 second when you're closest to neutral. If you are way far on either side, it takes you a lot longer to go on to the other side. So if you are massively negative and you're like so deep down in fear, and like I say, this is when I go down the rabbit hole, like there's no coming back from that almost, you know, like I'm full on crazy. Yeah. Full on like fear, like rocking in the corner kind of.
Stories just coming out.
Stories coming out of what I do not want.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I am like way down that rabbit hole, it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to pivot to positive thought.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes when I am coaching someone and they're way, way, way negative, I'm wanting so badly to bring them over to positive, like now, because I feel the resistance in my body, you know, it's like, all of a sudden, I need them to come with me kind of thing, right? Like I feel it. I can feel that resistance, and I can feel that I need to relax and let them come when they wish to. Yeah. But I can feel that difference. And so when they're way, way far, they're not going to switch to positive in a heartbeat. But what's brilliant about it is that if you're way on the other positive side, it's not going to take you 1 second pivot to get to the negative either.
Yes. And go ahead.
So it's brilliant, because I'm like, man, if you can't get out of negative, go for neutral. Like go for neutral. And this is what Trevor Moawad talks about, who's like this massive mindset guru for.
I read one of his books. I'm trying to remember which one.
Yeah, whatever it takes, or it takes what it takes.
That.
I love that. And so, well, I didn't read the book, but you know me, I read the cover and I have it. I just haven't read it. But it's like, it's the same sort of premise. It's like, you don't want to be negative, and you want to have that mobility to be able to go positive. So if you can focus on neutral, if you can't go anywhere, go neutral. I just think this is like the most powerful thing. And I'm telling this concept to people and they're like, yeah, but
because so they're like, too far over there. They can't hear you, Sandra.
Exactly. Exactly. They can't pivot in 1 second.
Right.
Because they're not closest to neutral. So it was just fascinating to me. Like I was all excited about it. So you'll have to Google Abraham Hicks 1 second.
There you go. But the thing is, once you get over into positive, you can feel yourself slipping sometimes with your thoughts. Yes. And it's interesting because it becomes so much easier in that space to go, you don't know what's going on here. Don't make up the end of the story. And especially if you're going to do it to what you don't want. Yeah. If you want to make it a good ending, go ahead and do that. But in this moment, you don't know what this means. And that neutralizes me, where I'm getting ready to jump into fear. And then I'm like, but I don't have anything to be afraid of. I don't know anything. Yeah.
We were talking earlier about Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh, girl. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And so today I was like, oh, why is my Facebook not working? Why am I having technical issues? Why is this a pain in my ass? And a client of mine says, Sandra, I just found that my bank account has been hacked. I've lost a bunch of money. Someone is siphoning out money from my account. I'm like, oh, Mercury. Okay. How are you doing? And she goes, surprisingly well. It was from my savings account and it was $20,000. And she said that not only that, but when she called the bank, they told her, you're going to have to go into the bank. We can't put a hold on your account over the phone. She's like, I am 2 hours from the nearest bank. It is 4 o'clock. I can't get there. I need you to freeze this account. They refused. 20 minutes later, $2,500 more went out. And so it was like, it was so interesting because she's like, I'm not panicking yet. I don't know why. And I said, just hold. Like, if you can just like almost brace yourself and wait.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not wait for bad, but like wait for information.
Well, I mean, and the reality is the bank is insured.
Right.
And she'll get her money back.
Well, they were saying it was her. Like, she's like, it was not me. I didn't even know it was gone. So she was a little bit, that was a little bit nerve-wracking for her, right? But it was like this, like, okay, can you just stay, like, try to focus and stay neutral as best as you can, like brace at neutral, because, and it's almost like once we're positive, for me anyway, once I felt positive enough, if something happens and I think, oh shit, here we go, I can brace at that point and go, okay, let's just breathe. And I'm not going to allow myself to tell stories. I can feel like crap. I can feel, but I'm not going to tell stories. And it's almost like when we can catch ourselves in that moment. And even like with my coaching clients, the ones that are working with me like weekly, they have access to me 24/7. Well, I don't answer them 24/7, but they can message me. And so she messaged me and I just happened to have a free moment. So I heard it and I was like, oh, okay, let's just like hold at neutral if you can, and so we kind of talked through that, but like, wow, it's such a powerful tool to be in awareness of it and to feel it. Like, it's like you can feel yourself like going up this roller coaster or going down it, right?
Yeah. Or stopping.
And we get to choose. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So Mercury's in retrograde. Yeah. You know what though? Today, like I was having some computer issues, and yesterday I actually went into a store and they were having computer issues, and I was like, I'm going through the same thing. It feels like Mercury, but I didn't think it was happening until the end of the month. So that happened. And then today I had a client or a patient call that was trying to reschedule her hypnotherapy appointment because she wasn't feeling well. And the call wouldn't pick up and it goes. So I'd try to text her and then she'd call me back and there was nothing there. And I was just like, it's Mercury. Like, we'll figure this out. And I was not concerned at all. And by the time we get on the phone, which is about 3 minutes later, it's not a huge thing. She was kind of like, eh.
Right.
And I said, oh, don't waste your energy on this. It's just Mercury. Like, it'll be gone January 2nd. It's just here. It's going to slow us down, make us appreciate things a little bit more, change our focus. I found that when I'm ready for it and it happens, it does not bother me like it used to. Because when it was coming before, I was like, oh no, Mercury's coming.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
it happens. Like, we get our periods too. Well, not me anymore, but like, you know what I mean? It's kind of the same. It's like, it happens. Is it pleasant? Do we look forward to it all the time? No, but it happens. It's the way it goes.
It's coming, whether we want it or not.
It's true. Okay. So I got this email, I think it was. And so this email talks about how we can use Mercury in retrograde to be super supportive when we know how to create with it. And so it talks about, like, between December 13th and 23rd, She said it's a great time to reflect on your relationship with work and achievement. But then she says, like, journal on, where are you feeling burnt out? Like you have to push harder to get where you want to be, where your goals are misaligned to your soul's truth. I'm really just like, because it is about sort of like letting things release and then creating from there too, right? Like it's this transitional energy. And then it says, let this cosmic shift bring you into a space of greater flow and deep clarity on what deserves your focus and energy. And I just thought, what a beautiful thing to say about Mercury in retrograde, because we only get the shit. We only get negative. Like if you're, if you're on social media, it's like, yeah, wouldn't you know it? Mercury is in retrograde. Of course it is.
Will you post that on our page, please?
Yeah.
Because I want that to be my thought every time it rolls around.
Yeah.
Because that feels better.
Doesn't it?
Even though at this point I'm like, oh, Mercury, what are you going to do now? But that feels better. I'm on that edge.
I know. It's just like a cosmic shift. Man, the word's cosmic shift. I'm all for it.
Feels good in the body, right?
It just feels good in the body. Like it just, I love it. So like, how can it get any better than this? What else is possible,
Well, and it's so funny that you say that, because that is a phrase that we use here. And by we all use it. But it started with Paul.
Right.
And when things are really, really good, he always says, how does it get any better than this? And you know what happens?
It does. I know. But
and that's why he says it.
I remember he used to always say this in the course. I remember it.
Oh, did he?
I was the best student ever. I gotta tell you.
Well, yeah, we have a podcast.
I know, but he always said it. I remember him saying it at the very end, and actually even at the end of like emails that you would send. How does it get any better than this? What else is possible? Seriously.
And you see why I love this man?
Right? I thought you were going to say, and you see why I love you? This is why you were the best student. Anyway, but
Well, I love you too, Sandra, though.
Good. But sorry. Yeah, it was like, it's the truth. And you know what I often think too is like, I really think about that in terms of like how positive it is, because I love cooking shows, love the cooking channel. I love HGTV. I love all of these things. And I used to a lot of the time watch Ree Drummond, the pioneer woman.
Oh, okay.
It's had like home cooking. And I just find like, I don't know, they're worth like $1 million. And so it's like interesting because she just started creating a blog. She was like, her husband owns like a huge ranch, like half of the United States. And and she was just at home cooking for these ranch hands and things, and she started a blog. And so all of a sudden it created like, I don't know how many books and TV shows and things. And one of the things that she always says is, it doesn't get any better than this. And I'm like, I want to stop. I want to email her and go, no,
stop saying that.
Stop saying that. It's like, how does it get any better than this?
Yeah.
Like, what else is possible? And it doesn't mean that we're not appreciative for where we're at, but it's like, we're grateful for where we are. And wow, what else magical thing could happen? Like, what's tomorrow going to bring?
As though we're going to get to that. This is the best that it gets. No, we never do. And I have my patients fill out a life wheel when they start hypnotherapy. And it's like 2 is the first line that you can color in, and it goes up to 10. And it has all these different areas of your life, like anything that you can imagine is on there. And so you sort of grade how you feel currently about your life, because I want to see when they start where they are.
And so while you're saying this, I
And,
have a question.
okay.
Ideally, no matter where you score, you want it to be a circle, right? So even if you scored like twos, you want it to be a circle, not like jutting in and out.
I
Is
don't
this
look at it
theory?
that way. I look
Okay.
at how satisfied they are.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it from a satisfaction level because they're not in a
Okay.
particular order that's going to make, and you know how I feel about complete balance.
Yes.
So that would make me go, are you bored?
Yeah.
Do you want more?
Yeah.
But when I give them this life wheel, I always tell them, I said, if you mark it a 10, I'm spoiler alert, there are no 10s. And it's
Yeah.
not that we cannot have this amazing life.
Mhm.
It's that it doesn't matter where we get to, we still want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
we can.
and you can. There's not this
Yeah.
line that, okay, it's a 10, can't go any higher than that. And
Yeah.
that is my biggest message to them, is to stop taking life so serious and thinking, oh, I've got to
Mhm.
be here and here and here. Look where you are and where you want to go
Yeah.
today, because it's going to
So true.
change after you get there.
Yeah.
Get
It
to that
will.
one place and then there's something else,
Yeah.
or there
And
should
I
be.
do think it's so, I think that a lot of times we get into this um stuckness
Mm-hmm.
or limitations, arguing our limitations when we go, oh, wait a minute, like I need to be grateful for where I am. So I
Oh yeah,
can't wish
I can't want any
more.
more. That
I
would be
can't do that.
greedy.
That's bad. Right.
Yeah.
And instead, if we can flip the switch of what else is possible out there, like
Yeah.
what else, what more can I
What
have?
next?
There, I noticed this very much so a few years ago
Mhm.
in the weight loss industry, where there was like this body positivity movement, and it kind of became this like anti-weight loss movement somehow. It wasn't meant to be, I don't think, but it became this like, you need to be grateful for where you're at and you should just be happy with your body as is, which is true. But then it became this like, but you can't, like, you're going to shame yourself if you want to lose. You're going to shame yourself. Like, it became this, I don't know, feeling of like, it's not good if you want to lose. And I think it's the same as like, we can be happy where we are.
We have to be happy where we
Want
are.
something different,
Yes.
something better for ourselves, even if it's health,
Yeah.
right? Or not even if it's health, but like no matter what it is.
Well,
I'm
and I
grateful
want
for the
to,
money that I have, but I want to be able to make more
yeah.
just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
think the body positivity movement went awry somewhere,
it did. I
because I
agree.
think the message of that, which I tell to people all the time, you have to
Yes.
love where you are
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
You've got to
You can.
look in that mirror and
Yeah.
appreciate. You can want more or less,
Yeah.
but you have to love you, because you are no different at current weight than
Yeah.
at your magical goal weight, which is,
Yeah.
you know,
And I mean, let's face it, psychologically, your body is not going to release weight if you're shaming it for the size that it
no,
is.
no.
And I know we talked about this earlier this year, right? It's like, oh, Leigh, I don't want to look in the mirror and love my toenails.
Do it.
I I was very resistant. I was absolutely like digging in to my limitations. Like, and I
Mhm.
wanted to wear them as a tattoo on my chest.
Yep.
Um, but you're right. I felt like, oh, the body positivity movement was such a good movement,
Mhm.
but somehow it twisted for some people and it became more like shameful
Yeah.
if you didn't feel positive, or shameful if you wanted something different than you had, right?
Have to tell patients as they get to their goal weight
Mm-hmm.
and we're transitioning, when you gain a couple of pounds because you eat something that you should not eat, and you're pulling back on your carbs and fats, just kind of really doing some protein and veggies to get that couple of pounds off, don't ever tell anybody.
Really?
Because
fascinating.
If they do, that person is going to say, oh my God, you look amazing. Why are you watching what you are eating?
Mm-hmm.
As though we are not supposed to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you can eat all this junk because you look great. That's not how that works. So I'm like, you have to take that conversation with others out of the equation, because it messes with your head.
Yeah. And I mean, let's face it, when you eat protein and veggies, you just feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just feel better. Like, no one can convince me chips and dip, although I love them. No one can convince me that you're going to feel better when you eat chips and dip versus big ass salad with, like, I don't know, amazing grilled chicken in it or something, or shrimp or whatever.
Scallops, steak, or
like, we're just going to feel better. And it should be about feeling better.
Yeah.
Like Abraham says, right?
And on that note, we are so out of time.
Oh, we're so out of time. Okay. This was fun.
This was so much fun. Thank you, Sandra, so much. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.